Hello YouTube, it's DasGregor, and I apologize for the last video for SolydK. Right off the bat, if the Linux distribution isn't set up properly for sound, then it really has some crappy sound for this laptop. I don't say it's a negative on the distribution, but just I think it's the laptop. I mean, the laptop's supposed to have these great, awesome Beats audio things, and personally, I think they're rubbish. They work great only if you have specialized drivers that are completely compiled just to run them. Otherwise, you might as well have a bunch of tin cans in your laptop. So anyway, I apologize for my first video. I know the sound wasn't the best, and when I tested the video, it looked okay, but it wasn't until I started getting comments about the sound being that bad that I went back and checked it on YouTube and said, whoa, something is not right. And the other thing that I think might be a problem too is that I was trying to find a better format to place my videos in other than MP4, and I was reading online that WebM was something that they wanted us to try to use. So I was trying to use WebM. My last WebM video that I did for Gen 2, I think it turned out pretty well. Everything sounded good and looked okay. But in this video, it looked terrible online. The sound was horrible. And I'm not sure to blame that or where it is, other than there was a problem with quality control. So without further ado, and I apologize on that, for those of you who did not see the other video, you're awfully lucky. So anyway, let's try to go forward with this. This is SolydK. Up here, of course, it says SolydXK because you can get the XFCE version or the KDE version. The installation of SolydK was easy, not that difficult to install. It is a full-featured Linux distribution that is based off of the Debian testing branch. It comes to you from the Netherlands. When you first start up SolydK, you are welcomed with this screen here, which tells you about possible proprietary drivers that you have, some interesting information about the community, and how you can contribute to SolydK. Now, as I said, SolydK is a full-featured Linux distribution. This right here is the simplified KDE desktop. However, the applications are not so simple. There are a lot to look at. One nice thing about SolydK is it is built for Steam to work, and if you have games that work within Wine and need something that is customized for Wine for games, although I've not really had too much luck in the past with Play on Linux, it is available, and maybe they've upgraded it for now. We move on down here. I'm just going to go over a few highlights because I don't want it to be, oh, here's the menu, look at all the applications. They're the same applications you'll see in blah, 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 blah. But let me just highlight a few things because most everything here is going to be what you're normally seeing. Although I saw that they had these extra applications right here for panoramic photo editing and also a panorama program down here. I want to bring those to your attention. The internet is brought to you on this with Firefox. However, if you wanted to install Chromium or any other browser, it's not that difficult utilizing the Synaptics package manager. And let me just double check to make sure there's anything else here. Everything else is pretty much what you'd expect. We move on to multimedia. Now, this is something I think is a nice feature. So maybe you don't know this or not, but you sometimes have a difficult time if you're an Amazon subscriber and you get MP3s from there. They have, of course, their downloader for Windows, but this is the downloader, the AMZ downloader for Linux. I've used it in the past with Gen 2 and other distributions. I didn't test it out inside SolydK. However, if it's there, it is a nice tool to use to be able to get to your library and download files and songs from your multimedia from Amazon. And moving on, of course, I installed GUVC Viewer, I did the HDA Jack retask, and of course Simple Screen Recorder. It does come with the full LibreOffice suite, and pretty much the same things of normally what you would see within System and Utilities. However, I do want to bring to your attention that this comes with a nice backup utility called Lucky Backup. I believe this is the first time I have run across Lucky in a distribution, and it seems to be quite nice. You can back up your data within where you synchronize from one source to another, or back up everything from your source into another destination. Simple menu. You can add, of course, your source destinations, given a name, what type of backup, and then you can restore. Now, one thing always to remember, when you do use a backup utility, it's always good to try to back up something small, lightweight, that you could then use the restore to restore and test out. I don't know how many times I've backed something up thinking, hey, I've got a backup, and then got to the point where, hey, I need that backup, and guess what? I can't figure out how to restore those files. So always a good thing to do a small backup when you do start those, and then do a small restore just to verify. Those few things really set SolydK apart from other distributions. Full-featured, has a lot to offer, some great unique applications that I saw, which you can of course place in any distribution if you find the package to install for your distribution, but it's nice sometimes that they're placed inside of the system right away. Sometimes when you're a new user, you don't always know what you want. And it's kind of nice in a distribution like SolydK or SolidX that they've placed those already in there for you to try out and check. If you don't like it, you can always uninstall it, of course, using the repository tools such as Synaptics. One thing I'd like to say about that too is when you get to a point when you really do want a minimalistic system, you've probably used Linux enough that you know what tools you like, which tools you don't like, and then you can start with something that's just bare bones. Building, for instance, in Gentoo, you pretty much don't have anything at all, and then as you build it, you install the applications you want, and then you're set for just those tools that you're using the most. Now, once again, I do apologize that the last video turned out so rubbish, and I do hope this one was better, although I did say a lot of things that I thought went really well. You ever feel like Groundhog Day when Bill Murray is trying to do everything right and somehow it all kind of goes together and it's proper, and then it ends and he's trying the next day to duplicate all of that and it just falls all apart? Well, that's what it feels like when I have to redo a distribution review. I had all these things that I had said the first time that I thought were pretty good, and now that I'm having to redo it, I'm kind of rushing through it a little bit. I apologize for that, but I want to try and get this done and get this uploaded so that I can hopefully repair the previous version that I did upload, and it looked and sounded terrible. I don't understand what happened there, because in my actual screen, when I checked the video after I was done, everything looked fine. It is what it is, and hopefully this is a little bit better. Hopefully the sound is a little bit better than the last. You'll have to watch my last Gen 2 video and let me know how my sound is in some of those, because I have done a lot to tweak and edit and make work better within the Gen 2 environment. I don't always have the time to try to figure all that stuff out within these desktops environments, because they're only here for a week or so, and then I'm on to the next one. I've kind of given up spending too much time in one. So anyway, whether it's morning, evening, noon, or night, whatever you're having, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk with you later. Bye.